Galileosky tracking devices have several different settings for point recording and track configuration. You can set period of point recording during stop and in motion, detailed tracking in motion, and false coordinates filtering. In order to set the period of point recording during stop, move to the tab Settings, Track. In the During Stop field, enter the preferred time period and click Apply button. Stop state can be determined by the tracker in several ways: via the accelerometer, via the ignition input, or via the stalled or started engine voltage. The stop state by default is defined by the accelerometer. In order to define the During Stop attribute by means of accelerometer, choose the tab Settings, Track, and set the threshold of accelerometer and the timeout, during which the coordinates will be sent. Recommended threshold value for correct stop attribute defining is 40 and above. When the stop attribute is defined by accelerometer, you will see Stop attribute on the Device tab in the line Motion, using accelerometer. In order to define the During Stop attribute by means of the ignition input, connect the ignition sensor to one of the analog discrete inputs of the tracker. On the tab Settings, Inputs/Outputs, set the discrete signal range. For example, for a vehicle with 12-volt battery, the discrete signal range may be the following. Logical 0 zone is from 0 to 6000 mV. Logical 1 zone is from 8000 to 32,000 mV. Next, select the tab Settings, Track. For ignition in, choose the corresponding input and click Apply button. When the sensor doesn't have Logical 1 status, the vehicle engine is considered stopped, and new coordinates are not sent. The tracking device will send new points according to the time period set in the During Stop field. In order to define the During Stop attribute by means of the started or stalled engine voltage, you need to do the following. Stop the vehicle engine for 5 minutes. On the tab Device, memorize the voltage supply value. Start the engine of the vehicle and again go to the tab Device and memorize the voltage supply value. Choose the tab Settings, Track, and fill in the corresponding values in the fields Stalled engine voltage and Started engine voltage. Click Apply button. The tracker will define the stop attribute if the supplied voltage is less than half of the difference between the stalled and started engine voltage values. If several methods of stop definition are used, the ignition input and engine voltage will be primer to the accelerometer value. The period of points recording in motion can be set on the tab Settings, Track, by entering the required number of seconds in the field In Motion. In addition to this period, you can set the turn-in field for more precise and correct track drawing. In order to set frequency of point recording on turns, you should do the following. Choose the tab Settings, Track. In the field Minimal Speed, enter the minimal speed for extra points on the turn. In the field Minimal Angle, enter the minimal turn-in angle that will result in creating extra point. According to these settings, if the vehicle is driving with a speed 3 km per hour or more and starts turning, after each 7 degrees, a new point will be created. In order to set frequency of point recording after specific distance is covered, enter the distance in meters in the distance field. Thus, each 300 meters, the tracking device will create an extra point. The false coordinates filtering also affects the track. If the tracking device has active false coordinates filtering, then the new points that should be filtered by corresponding settings will be filtered, and the device will save previous point as the new one. Pay attention to the parameter minimal travel speed. If the vehicle is driving with speed less than the defined value, the new points will be assumed incorrect and filtered by the tracker. This function should not be used for slow vehicles like tractors or asphalt pavers. When using slow vehicles with false coordinates filtering, recommended value for minimal travel speed is 0. As a result of all mentioned settings, you will have a correctly drawn track, as you can see in the example on the screen. The track settings are completed. The tracking device is ready for use.